Hi, it's your $2 Tuesday movie critic. Still walking, still talking, still doing my reviews for Oscars 2024. But please feel free to walk with me. So this time I'm looking at the category of Best Picture nominations. And there are several, unlike the rest where there's only 5 nominations, there are quite a few in this category. So stay with me. All right, so first we're going to American Fiction. The producers for this movie are Ben LeClaire, Nikos Karamigos, Cord Jefferson, and Jermaine Johnson. So this movie had too many unnecessary characters and a storyline that just fell flat. The main character is frustrated at what publishers accept as black literature. He seems to have an internal consciousness fight about how, and he seems to have an internal conscientious fight about how he ends up adding to the problem. But from the beginning, he does nothing to actively go against this situation he seems so disgusted with. Sorry, ending with a preposition there. In the end, it seems like an incomplete story. I love the characters of Lorraine and Mrs. Ellison. Their characters also made the movie better than the story really was. It was a story with all the finger pointing and vitriol, but no opposing examples, real or fictional. Okay, and I did not like that at all. And I, again, loved Sterling K. Brown in this movie, which is what made it easier for me to watch. Okay, so next nominee, Anatomy of the Fall. The producers are Marek Ang Lucien, and I'm guessing these are French because this is a movie from France, and David Thion, so I'm pretty sure I messed up those names. It was a really good movie. It was definitely better than the more popular movies like Maestro and Barbie. It was more intriguing than The Holdovers and American Fiction. Even though it was not about a real person or event, it was done well enough to believe it was like Oppenheimer. So about a true life story or a biopic, but it was not. Okay, then we have Barbie. The producers are David Heyman, Margot Robbie, Tom Ackerley, and Robbie Brenner. This movie should not be Best Movie nomination. I think it is supposed to be a comedy, but it is not very funny. It is too ridiculous to be a drama. The message of the movie was not conveyed very well. It's either not easy to be a woman, or women just want women just want a simple life. I believe both can be true. It would have helped the creators and inhabitants of Barbie Land would learn no one woman or doll could represent all women. That's what I hope they had gotten from the movie. But nobody said that. No. They just put Barbie on a pedestal that in the movie she does not want to be on, even though she's happy to take the credit for something that she did not earn. It was a movie of contradictions, if anything. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, The Holdovers, producer Mark Johnson. This movie is simplistic, comedic, and memorable. However, it is too simplistic to be an Oscar-worthy movie. It is well written, well portrayed, and completely well done. It is also very memorable. It should have been nominated, but it should not win. Because I do think it was one of the best pictures that I watched this movie season. And those are just the nominations. This is not the best movie I watched all season. But that's neither here nor there right now. Okay, so let's move on. Killers of the Flower Moon. Producers, Don Friedkin, Bradley Thomas, Martin Scorsese, and Daniel Lupi. It was just a sad movie. It was a poor representation of the Osage Native Americans, in my opinion. The movie spoke of tragedy, treachery, sadism, and the death of a nation. There was little triumph in this story, and I would never want to watch it again. Truly. I'm just going to leave that there. Maestro. Producers Bradley Cooper, Steven Spielberg, Fred Bonner, Amy Durning, and Christy McCosco Krieger. Big names there, right? Okay, so the only reason this movie is nominated is because it is about the great composer and conductor Leonard Bernstein. And the Oscars loves a biopic. And it has a lot of big names behind it. It does not deserve to be in this category, and it does not deserve to win, in my opinion. Okay, next movie, Oppenheimer. Producers Emma Thomas, Charles Roven, and Christopher Nolan. Okay. I don't believe this movie deserves an Oscar, even though it may win. This was a cinematic film that did teeter on the fence of boredom. It was a fantastic biopic that made me actually sympathize with the father of the atomic bomb. I sympathize a little, not a lot. Okay? So, and then Past Lives. Unfortunately, I did not get to see, and this was producers David Hinojosa, Kristen Vacone, and Pamela Koffler. And I know I said some of those names incorrectly, so I apologize. I really didn't want to see this one because it seemed very simplistic in nature, but complicated in circumstances, if that makes sense. So I really didn't want to see it, but I didn't get a chance to see that one. Okay, let's move on. Poor Things. Producers Ed Guinea, Andrew Lowe, Yorgos Lanthimos. Okay, Yorgos Lanthimos is one name. And then Emma Stone. Okay, so this movie not only deserves not to win, it should not even be in this category. This was pretty much porn. And it wasn't even porn that makes you want to have sex, in my opinion. This is porn where it's more like, let's learn how to have sex in the most weird ways kind of porn. It was awful. I mean, 60 to 70% of the movie, they were in sexual positions. Another part, she was mostly naked. She did a full frontal scene. I don't remember Mark Ruffalo's character being naked, but there were some male nude scenes as well. One very, very disgusting one, but involving Emma Stone. And let's just move on. So anyway, yeah, this movie was weird, gross. I'm not understanding why it was nominated at all, except because Emma Stone was in it. Willem Dafoe is the only thing I can say good about this movie, which I still think he should have been in the supporting role nominee instead of Mark Ruffalo. Neither here nor there, but yeah. Okay, and that brings us to our last nomination, the Zone of Interest. James Wilson, producer. So, I don't understand why this was a movie at all. There was nothing new to it. There was nothing introspective about it. Okay, so without giving too much of the movie away, let me tell you what you probably already know if you've seen the previews. So this movie is about a family, a German family that lives next to Auschwitz. You know, of course, during the Holocaust, of course. So, and I don't know if it's, well, it has to be about this family because that's what they show most. This family has some of the Jewish people working for them, and they're slaves pretty much because I'm sure they're not getting paid, and they're made to be invisible for the most part. And so the reason I say there's nothing introspective, retrospective, interesting, nothing about this movie, because all of it's been done, but it's been done better. If you're talking about trying to be introspective or retrospective about, you know, a German family living near or working, because the husband is actually the general that controls what's going on in Auschwitz, where all these Jewish people are being killed at this time. And if I'm not mistaken, because again the movie was awful, so tried to pay attention as much as possible. I think he was actually one of the creators of the great ovens. When I say great, I mean huge, not great as in wonderful, but great as in huge. Ovens that were used to burn the Jewish people alive. I think he was one of the creators of it, and they're having them go to other places to create the same oven. And so, yeah, if I'm not mistaken. Again, he's a fictional character. These people are all fictional, from my understanding. Again, terrible movie. And not just because it's talking about drugs, because I watch movies where a better movie that kind of like does the same thing as this movie, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. That was a good movie. I mean, yeah, it talks about a family, again, German family, that lived near, I don't know if it was Auschwitz, but definitely where Jewish people were being killed. And I think the father not only knew what was going on, he participated in it, being a German himself. But this was definitely a much better done movie, a movie that I will watch again, even though it was very, very sad. You know, Schindler's List, I've watched several times, and every time I'm bawling. Life is Beautiful, again, there's a family that actually plays a beneficial part in being, the German family plays a beneficial part in being near where all of the families are being held and killed. And you'll see if you watch the movie. But this movie, nothing. And then the evening is even more confusing. I don't know what they were trying to say, but they failed at doing it. I don't know why this was a movie. Okay, so I'm gonna stop. It was just awful. Anyway, so my opinion, the winner of this category, oh geez, it was so many losers, honestly, should be probably Oppenheimer. I mean, it was the only movie that honestly held my interest. I did not get to see Past Lives. I really wanted to see that. But the way that it was, I saw the previews for it, and I saw the woman that actually wrote the movie. I don't know if she's a producer or not, but I saw her talk about it, and it just seems so very simplistic, beautifully simplistic, but definitely simplistic. So it probably didn't have enough drama in it for Oscar-worthy movie, because I always think they have to have some type of drama, something that makes you want to sit at the edge of your seat drama. But anyway, and she pretty much made a point of saying that there was no drama like that in this movie. So anyway, so I think it should be Oppenheimer for sure, because it was the best of all these terrible movies. Or The Holdovers. The only thing about The Holdovers is it was quite simplistic. So maybe too simplistic. But I saw that one of the other nominees, Divine Joy Randolph, who was actually in quite a few movies this season, in 2023. So I didn't realize she was also in Rustin. She played Mahalia Jackson. So took me by surprise. But anyway, yeah, I really do believe that Oppenheimer probably should win, even though all these movies were pretty bad to me, with the exception of Past Lives and The Holdovers, was just a little bit too simplistic. All right, so those are my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think at the bottom of the screen, as well with all the other segments that I put on, okay? And I hope you join me for the next segment. Okay, hope to see you next time.